So the next two exercises are meant to help us balance the expanding feeling we have with our energy and the settling we can have with our energy. The first one focuses a bit more on expanding, the second one a bit more on settling, but you want to allow your awareness to be focused on this idea of really spreading all your energy out and then bringing it back together and settling it down. So the first exercise looks like this. Hands float up in front, above, palms are up, palms gradually turn to palms down, and then we settle. So inhale, exhale. To the side. So again, in the Huanyuan tradition of Taoism, we have that San Tao, the threefold path. We have the Di Tao, the body, Ren Tao, beings, interactions, and that's usually when we focus on the breath, and then Tian Tao, the sky. So we're going to do these exercises with respect to each of those different aspects of practice. And the idea is you need to focus on that Di Tao, Tao soil, Ren Tao, Tao of relating and breathing in this case, and Tian Tao, sky, spirit, philosophy, things like that. So, when we're doing this exercise with respect to Di Tao, the body, what's really important is to be very meticulous about the form, very meticulous about how you actually move your body. So when we're bringing our hands out, they want to be at the same height. The arms want to be round, not straight, and not too flaccid. So there's a balance there. And I'm inhaling as my hands come up. There's an expansive reaching out. I might even straighten my legs a little bit. Connect to what's coming down from above. And then the hands are coming down, and what I want to focus on is that my shoulder blades are actually sliding down more than my hands are sliding down. So they all kind of slide down together. So I go from palm up to palm down as my shoulder blades settle. Right? Inhale, everything floats up. Exhale, as the palm starts to turn, shoulder blades slide down your back. And then you get to settle. Now there's another detail to this, and I always make the joke that Taoism is sometimes kind of a lazy tradition in the sense that we're trying to do things with flow and ease. For me to go like this and to lift my arms up like this, it seems kind of like a lot of effort. So what I'm going to try and do is cheat a little bit, and I'll ask you to try this exercise and be careful with it. What I want to do is sit my weight back from the ball of my foot onto my heel, not by leaning back like this, but by actually sitting back as if perhaps there's a chair or something there. So I'm going to move this microphone so you can see the structure of my spine. So as I sit my pelvis back, eventually the ball of my feet are going to come up and my hands are going to naturally just counterbalance my weight. Right? It's kind of cheating. So as I practice that a bit, right, you might stumble just to see. As I practice that a bit, eventually what's going to happen is I don't start the movement like this. I start the movement like this. And in my experience, my hands are already up to here without me actually feeling like I've done any lifting. And they already have a feeling of momentum, so when they get to here, I can just imagine that the momentum is what's allowing them to keep coming up. And at this point, it's almost a primarily energetic kind of expansive experience. It doesn't really feel like I'm lifting up, because once my elbow's about here, it's really just sort of letting my hand flow outwards like this. So again, just a little trick is to sit back with your pelvis, not with your head, to sit back, let the arms float up, and then flow open, and then start to settle, and then the shoulder blades fall and settle, all in one fluid movement. So those are some of the details that make that exercise more graceful, more structured, more balanced, and giving you more coordination. So important details. So once more, inhale, sitting back, open, receive, exhale, shoulder blades slide, hands fall. So now we're going to look at the Ren Dao association with this exercise, the breath and connection. Primarily what you want to focus on at this point with the exercise, assuming you already have become comfortable with the previous details, is just to see if you can make it as timed with your breath as possible. The average for most people is about 6 heartbeats per inhale, 6 heartbeats per exhale in the sense of time, about 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. So, as you inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you can pause a little bit. When you're ready, inhale. Exhale. Now again with Ren Dao, the Tao of beings, which includes breath and connection, you can choose to move anything that's uncomfortable within yourself emotionally, especially around relationship. So to feel expansive and open, more confident or radiant, and also more accepting and calm, and maybe becoming a better listener or something. So there's a chance to use these body movements to shift some of our feelings or encourage ourselves to be more conscious of certain feelings. So then we have the Tian Dao, the Tao of sky, with the sense of movement. This is always fun to say out loud. You would never try and do it right again. In fact, you try and do it a little bit, not so much wrong, but a bit floppy. Now, I'll give you a basic kind of sense of what that looks like. So I would just sort of want to move vaguely right and left, more right, more with my wrist or my elbow, more with my shoulder or my ear. So as I'm coming up, I'm trying to be as fluid and spontaneous and intuitive as possible. I could turn to the side. Because being always correct is not always the best way. It's good to balance out really good structure and posture and balance with a certain amount of dance and flow and play. Now, when I'm teaching this, I often ask people to imagine that they're kelp attached to the bottom of the ocean, and as we're doing the movement, it's the ocean, the waves, the currents, that are moving our hands up and then letting our hands come down. Right? Now you can play with time, go fast, go slow. It's totally up to you. And this is a bit of an energetic association. Again, Tian Dao, Tao of sky, Tao of heaven, this sort of spiritual awareness. So we'll stay with that image of the kelp, bottom of the ocean's moving the kelp around, and right now we're approximately doing something like this. And try and follow the humor with this. Let's imagine that the ocean is made of wine. So now the kelp is moving in a way that's somewhat drunk or inebriated. Be safe with your body, you don't want to strain anything. But to have that kind of little smile that just says, oh, okay, this is not serious right now. It's play, it's flow, dance, grace, that kind of energy, which balances out that detail, that very, very focused kind of intention. So here we are at the kelp. We're moving in this ocean of wine. Now, two other qualities that will maybe help you warm up to a spiritual connection with anything. Let's say that you, as the kelp, have a little bit of a crush, maybe a big crush, on this ocean that keeps you happy and dancing. So imagine that for a moment. Just move with me if you will. Here you are, the shy kelp in the ocean of wine, but every gesture is a caress, moving outwards, upwards, everywhere, to what you might, in the Sufi tradition, call the lover. Right? So that feels, for some people, very challenging, but for some people it's very, very warming, very, very opening. So you can also take that one more step. Let's assume, or play with the idea, that the ocean is actually in love with the kelp. So now, every movement, I have a crush on the ocean, it's in love with me, I'm not drunk, but I'm definitely not nervous. And every movement is this love affair of inter-exchange between everything that's coming down from above, everything that's coming up from below, and everything that's coming through you or I in our practice. It's a simple analogy, but hopefully that will help carry you more deeply into your practice, because I've been doing this for quite a while. Just moving your arms around, even gracefully, that's nice, but you want to take this to that next level with respect to the body, the breath, your relationships, and with respect to how you flow and connect and open to spirit and the earth and everything else. So I hope that helps you. So you'll see in the follow along video that I typically do this 3 times for the earth, 3 times for the breath, 3 times for flow and spirit and connection. And that works out really, really nice. If you're in a bit of a hurry and you want to have a shorter practice session, you could do 1 for the body, 1 for the breath, and then 1 for fun. Okay. So the next exercise is again balancing out the expanding and settling, although there's a little more focus on the settling. So it's going to follow that same thing. Focus on the detail, the earth, the body, by being very, very particular about the movement, the structure, and then the breath, and then after that we'll play with flow. So, inhale, elbows move out to the sides, then wrists move out to the sides, then your fingertips move out to the sides, then your arms roll backwards, hands come up, and it's kind of like they're coming over top, so over kind of like a balloon. And then you're going to settle your body kind of like you're dropping into your ankles, your knees, your pelvis, so that as your hands fall down with this balloon, your elbows can relax, your shoulders can relax, and your hands can completely settle down over your knees. So, inhale. Settle, exhale. Hands over your knees. So we'll turn to the side. So when you go on to the work with the breath, the movement is a little bit less robotic, a little bit less detailed, because you want to time it with your breath. And again, it's probably 6 heartbeats in, 6 heartbeats out. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, settling. Once more, a bit of the expanding and a really thorough focus on the settling. So if we look at the flowing, playful, kind of Tian Dao way of moving with this exercise, and your kelp, there's the ocean, and it's doing most of the moving for you. So again, typically you'd be doing 9 of those exercises, 3 for the body, 3 for the breath, 3 for flow. If you're in a hurry, just do 1 for each. I would also say that if you're energetically feeling quite oppressed and stagnant and heavy, do a few more of the expanding ones, or focus more on the expanding quality and less on the settling. And conversely, if you're feeling lots of anticipation and nervousness and too many things to do, focus mostly on the settling, in this exercise and the other exercise, so that you start to really notice the tangible benefits of your practice with respect to how you're feeling in your life.